What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review, and today was a very important day. And you might think I'm saying that because today was the final day of the Tacticians Cup. Everywhere across the world, these are tournaments that, have a decent amount of prize money attached to them. It's really, really intense competition, and, the qualifier points from them and who ends up doing well in these can determine who our world's reps are going to be from all these regions. So really, really important stuff, but no, that's not why today was an important today. Today was an important today because today is January the 19th, which is the day that I was brought into this world. Today's my birthday. I am 27 years young. Honestly, the older I get, the younger I feel, like, especially after shaving my head. Like, I'm the oldest I'm going to be forever. I'm only going to get younger, if that makes any sense. Other thing that I want to shout out, I hung out with my friends today, had a nice day, and one of my friends gave me this, which I just think is so cool. If you guys can get here, I'll give you guys a reference image so you can see. This is the KDA All Out Squink. It is a perler bead that my friend made for me based on my little legend that I always play out. And he said he actually modeled it off of one of the bloopers from one of the Mario games, I think. So shout outs to my friend. I don't know if he probably wouldn't mind if I said his first name. Shout out to Alejandro for making this for me, because yeah, I love it, and I'm gonna have it here while I'm destroying people with my squink. Now, for the actual VOD review, we're going back to APAC here. I wanted to VOD review Jazlatte again, honestly, because he had a great final day, 39 points, 4th place overall. Only really got, stumbled when he went 8th in this game. But if you scroll all the way to the right of this spreadsheet, you can see, okay, it's actually not all the way to the right, it's right here. Sorry for giving you guys a little bit of whiplash. You can see the combined points across all 3 days. Jazlatte had the best tournament out of everyone. So he went 4th overall, but as far as AVPs, he had the best tournament. And so I want to VOD review him, especially because I took a peek at the game, this game that he played, and it was a weird one. It was a very, very strange game, and a really interesting one. I think a lot of people would have stumbled this game and not known what to take or how to pilot it, and I think that's what TFT is all about. Everybody knows how to play the really, really crazy games. Jazlatte had a game this tournament where he got Wandering Trainer portal. He got scrap +1 on the Wandering Trainer, and then he got another scrap, played 9 scrap, and he won the game. Most people can pilot that pretty easily. That's not what I'm too worried about when I'm trying to learn TFT. I know that, if I get an insanely high roll spot, usually, it's relatively easy to play that out. But what I really want to know is how to play out these harder to play spots. What the ways are that you can get placement in spots like those. So it's an interesting start. We're picking up the Maddie and the Steb here. Really, really nice opener. I wonder, yeah, this is actually an interesting call here. So Jazlatte says that he would prefer to sell the Ezreal here and pick up these extra 1 costs rather than hold on to the Ezreal here, almost declaring that, like, it's very likely that I'm going to play around this kind of Enforcer type opener. Enforcer is an opener that has gone, the Enforcer stonks have gone way up. Though it also looks like he's holding on to this Kog'Maw opener as well. Maybe he's going to end up playing around that. So we'll see what the opener ends up being. Our items so far, we kind of have like a Shojin makeable. Lots of stuff could be adaptive. Probably not going to be BT in this spot. All right, first augment here. It is prismatic. Priz ticket, Sentinel +1, and trade sector is the prismatic one's called shopping spree, right? But yeah, basically the prismatic one. These are all pretty bad options, I would say. You're not really interested in these days prismatic ticket is just not it. There's just not that many solid reroll comps. Obviously, if you get a really good spot to play one of the dominant reroll comps, you can think about it, but reroll is just definitely reroll stonks as we're talking about are going down a bit. Sentinel +1 as a first augment, I'm not that excited for it, and Jazlatte does roll that immediately. We see Titan's Titan, which is another not amazing one since it's been nerfed, so it's just not as good. Flurry of Blows, also not amazing as a first augment, so a lot of not great options. So we're just going to have to reroll the prismatic ticket. And we do get, finally, a pretty solid option in this. It's called quality over quantity, I think. Ooh, this is an interesting idea. I was looking at potentially just the Shojin Slam onto the Kog'Maw, and this is our setup. But no, we want to play around BT on this Vander here, Radiant BT, with the idea that Vander's actually going to do more work than the Cog here. Wow, it's kind of an interesting call, but I like it. This Vander seems huge. He's also buying a lot of time for this Kog'Maw, and the other nice thing about this is it does leave tier open for any kind of Kog'Maw item. So I'm loving this, actually. Not sure why he's putting I mean, I guess we'll see what he wants to put into Planar, because this is also just kind of an interesting augment to play around these days. You know, prior to the patch, everybody and their, ooh, and this is also another call. Wow, actually, the Darius over the Vander, you know, tends to be that a 2-cost is stronger than a 1-cost, but I actually love this call from Jazlatte. And I do want to actually, let's just peek at the board that he's putting into the Planar right now, because this is already like, it's really, really interesting. Like, the idea before with this augment is that you would play like the 4 Emissary board. Now, the 4 Emissary board has fallen off a lot this patch just because of the strength of enforcers, really, in general. People are like, well, why would you play around 4 Emissary when you could play around, you know, boards like this? You know, 6 Enforcer and 8 Enforcer doing really, really well. But this is a cool little variation of it. It's a 4 Enforcer board, and instead of actually like playing really deep into Enforcer, we're just fitting some extra strong units, Rel, Mbessa, GP, and the Elise. Fitting, like, these are all kind of +1 units that you can fit on these Enforcer types boards. And so his idea is we're just going to fit all of these and play for almost like an Emissary type board, where we're playing all these units that you know, are synergistic with the setup. But you know, this does allow us to play for multiple carries, and yeah, just to play overall kind of a similar game to the 4 Emissary comp, but not the 4 Emissary comp exactly. I don't know. I think this is a cool line, and I think you know, after not the death of the 4 Emissary comp, like, this does seem like a really, really nice kind of replacement for 4 Emissary. So it's a cool way to understand how to play around this augment when, you know, I think a lot of people are, you know, maybe still playing around 4 Emissary or doing other stuff. So yeah, this Darius buying so much time, but we are still not that strong as far as upgrades. So I think, oh, actually Kog'Maw doing a lot of work. Can he finish off the, oh my God, the Kog'Maw punch. Jazlatte looks so, he looked so chill there, actually, even though that fight was insanely scary. I'm also really interested to see what this tier does turn into here. We have the TF that we can itemize. It looks like maybe we would just take, like, I don't know, a Ra. I'm actually, wow. I was looking at potentially like Ra, just make like an Arcane or something and say we're going to throw that into Twisted Fate later, but it looks like no, that's not what Jazlatte is interested in. He's rather going to go for like a Protector's Vow here, maybe, or maybe nothing slam. But I feel like after a 3 streak, you definitely want to slam. Also, is this really the call? Wow. This is also crazy to me. The no level in this spot. Let's look back at that board that he was scouting here. I wonder if his idea here is that against this board, you know, this person has a Tristana too. They've got a Smeesh with Flurry of Blows, like a lot of strength on this board. And Jazlatte also is kind of acknowledging, like, my board won that fight, but I'm still not, you know, the strongest person in the lobby by any means. So, wow, I think he's acknowledging I won the first 3 fights, but that last fight was, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a fluke. I don't know. His board does still look pretty strong. I'm a little bit surprised that, you know, he would I mean, it looks like he knows that he's chilling enough in this fight, but yeah, I'm shocked by the no level here on a 4 streak here, because I feel like, you know, the obvious thing, okay, and now he's finally gonna level after winning that last fight, gonna pivot some of these items over, get the Vladimir plus the Namian, which just, you know, good traits in general. And okay, so this is gonna be the setup, but he's very not open into making Protector's like Radiant Protector's Vow, or I mean, it's just regular Protector's Vow, but it's gonna turn into Radiant Protector's Vow. Also the BT on Amumu is kind of funny, but I mean, I think it makes a decent amount of sense. This is a close fight. I'm really surprised, actually, because I imagine if we had made Protector's Vow here, he wouldn't have lost this fight. But I think his idea might be that Radiant Protector's Vow, like, when you are playing this augment, quality over quantity, like, you need perfect items, essentially. You need your items to really, really be figured out. And also, it's just kind of like the chain and the tier are probably the 2 best components when you're playing around this augment. You have Radiant Static Shiv you can build into, you have Radiant Sunfire that you can build into. Both are really, really insane in the statistics. So I wonder if that's the idea, is that he's saying, you know what, I might lose my streak here, and obviously that sucks, but I would rather keep the option open to play around this stuff. Maybe a Radiant Starax here, or ooh, a Radiant Redemption, and then he's going to hold on to this other stuff. I mean, I guess, ooh, okay, so he's going to make Adaptive Helm. So he's going to make all these slams here and leave Sword open here. We'll see what Sword ends up being. But okay, he does get the Radiant Sunfire, so it does look like that's part of what he was greeting for. And maybe the Shiv as well if we got Bow, but at this point he's like, okay, I want to make these slams. Though he doesn't really, like, he could have left here open if he had wanted to. All right, here's also where the game gets quite interesting. So 3-2 augment here, Mana Flow, Watcher +1, Sword +1. The +1's kind of difficult in this spot. I mean, Watcher +1, I don't know, feels very awkward. And then Sword +1, very difficult. We get Trifecta here, which is just a very awkward augment. I don't know. I don't think most people are interested in this Trifecta augment. buffing up your 3 costs just kind of forces you to play 3 cost reroll, and 3 cost reroll not very good. But we're left with really awkward choices, right? We could go mana flow here, but we don't really have a lot of backline carries in this comp. You know, I guess we have the TF. We roll into Golemify, and you can see our options are not amazing. So we are actually going to pick up the trifecta here. And when you think about the comp that we're actually going to play into, and ooh, I like this swap here, the BT over to the GP. If you think about this board, right, we do play three costs on it. So in terms of trifecta value, it's actually not bad. But this then raises the question, like, okay, are we going to play this as like a reroll type board? It's pretty good now with these 3 costs on it. So is that what we're going to go for, or are we going to like pivot into some kind of other idea? I don't know. It raises a lot of questions and takes this line that was somewhat straightforward before, but like I said, I think a lot of people aren't in on this like 4 enforcer type line, and makes it even more weird. So I don't know. I am excited to see where this line goes. We did just pick up a Swain too, so it could be a reroll setup if we want to. Like we could try rerolling for it, and maybe Jazlatte is scouting the lobby here to see like, okay, how scary is it? Like, can I actually play reroll from this spot? I don't know. We'll see. He does though have the Swain 2 at this point with the trifecta with the radiant item, which is really really nice here, and he's rewarded in his HP, 96 HP, very very nice here. Sword open here. I imagine this is going to end up being, you know, we have AD item for Mbessa, and then we have AD Bruiser item for Vi, so something like an Edge of Night, a Sterax, both look pretty reasonable. It looks like, wow, he's going to pick up the Shojin, though. I mean, obviously, we do have another AP carry to itemize in the TF, and I mean, once again, ooh, okay, so Blitzcrank in here is just like a slightly better unit. Okay, yeah, he is going to make the Shojin here, because I was going to say, like, he could hold on to these components and keep the Radiant Static open. The reason I was talking about Radiant Static at all is just that the statistics on Radiant Static Shiv are really, really, really gross. Stats say it's like one of the best Radiant items. I think the numbers probably just a bit overtuned on it. We are going to finally lose a fight here to this big GP here from Tamara, who very, very strong player as well. I mean, I actually didn't really talk about this lobby, but we got YBY1 in this lobby. We got Riri that we VOD reviewed. We have Cassigat here. We have Midfeed. We have Tamara. I don't know who Just Feel Alive or Summer. I've seen this Summer Timer name a lot in a lot of these games from APAC Tacticians Trials and Cup. So I don't know, very very strong player as well. But yeah, I mean, a great lobby, and I didn't even touch on YBY1, who I guess didn't make Final 8 based on that, but he did make Final Day because this is a game from the Final Day. So grats to YBY1. I mean, I'm cheating on you a little bit with Jazlatte here, but I mean, look, if you had made Final Lobby, I would definitely be VOD reviewing you. But okay, we pick up the GP2. We have the Swain 2 GP2. That is a really, really nice way to just kind of catapult us to potential level 8 and, you know, even level 9 if we want to. We do also still have the option to reroll if we want to, though. The more stuff that Jazlatte adds to this board, the less likely I think it looks that we are going to reroll here. So we level up. We're going to get just a little bit of Enforcer onto this board. Item-wise, we have a Radiant Last Whisper that we can pick up, and this leaves open the sword for something like a Radiant Sterax, Radiant Edge of Night, which I think makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I mean, Jazlatte just doing a great job of playing around his components, because like I said, like, what items you build with this setup are so important. Also, the Maddie doing a pretty decent job of sniping there. We'll see if Swain and TF can close this one out. I think they can very easily, and really fortunate that we fought Riri there right before he hit a 3-star Trist. Okay. Final augment here. Item grab bag is like in some ways good. You know, we have like, if we just go back and look at kind of start of combat here, if we took item grab bag, that would allow us to make two more radiant items essentially on this board, which is really really big, especially when we level 8. When we level to 8, it would be 8 radiant items onto our board. So that is the upside to it. The downside is that any components we get after this are going to get a little bit awkward. I tend to not go for stuff like that in this comp, but I'm interested. I think mentorship makes a lot of sense, but we'll see. Jeweled Lotus. We already have Radiant LW. We do not have, we don't have MR Shred in this spot, and I do think Jeweled Lotus, I think, makes a lot of sense just from a perspective of we want something that's going to buff up the entire team. This gives the entire team the ability to crit, so I could certainly see that being the pickup here, but we'll see. He does, yeah, looks like, oh, why not both here? I mean, that would be the giga cook, but it seems like too much, and we have to play too many 3 costs on this board to actually get why not both value, right? So he was really teasing. He was really teasing the viewership there, but he knows like the augment is too troll to pick in this spot. Like, I think it's just too hard to make work in this position. So very very sad, but you know, makes sense. But you can also see Jazlatte in this spot, not at all interested in actually rerolling these units. He still wants to play a fast 8 version of the comp, but he's just using this trifecta here to make the board a bit stronger. Also, because we're so healthy, does not at all have to go for the 4-2. I feel like 4-2 so popular these days. It's the kind of the default for when you were supposed to level. But, you know, Jazlatte, he's got a little less gold because his board is so upgraded. So he says, you know what, I'm just going to sack a couple of rounds and then I'll level next round and then, you know, not really worry about it too much. These are relatively contested units, Vi especially, Enforcer comps, Twitch comps, Corky comps, like all these comps are holding Vi's. So, yeah, and there's already a Vi 2 he sees there at least, maybe some more Vi's out. We still have this sword open, which I've been speaking about Sterak's Edge of Night the entire stage. We do still have like the Radiant BT, like a second Radiant BT that we go for. He still wants tiers. Wow. What's the extra tier for? I mean, I guess we still have more units to, I mean, maybe eventually if we get to a Caitlyn, Radiant blue buff Caitlyn would be sick. Pick up the Vlad too, just continuing, just rolling down here to try to pick up 4 costs to play around. Not really seeing much. Finally, the Ambessa, but it took a while, man. This does give us a lot of traits that we want on this board. Pick up the Vi, who, I don't know what she's getting. Radiant Redemption at this point, and the LW onto Ambessa. I actually think that makes a lot of sense. She's like a frontline backline carry, you know? She's in the front line, but she is ranged, and, you know, oftentimes you're going to be putting her on the second row. So actually, I like that a lot. We fight, though, a vertical experiment board. Really annoying. And that's, I mean, wow. What a pickup. So that's Bulwark there, 40 armor, 40 MR, tripled above 50% HP. I mean, I would say this is the best anomaly in the game onto Vi. So I think this makes a trillion sense. The only thing is, after, we'd really like to get this BT on Vi, I would think. I feel like we want to swap her items around, so we'll see. Also, the Vlad at this point coming out because he realizes, you know, we really want to play 4 Enforcer on this board. We do move items over at this point, and yeah, I mean, I think this makes perfect sense to me. And I'm gonna throw the sword onto the Rumble because Scrap does work with this augment. So, you know, this scrap item is going to transform and then like into a full item, and then it's going to become a radiant item. So really nice, you know, synergy there allows us to kind of get another full item, and it's radiant, i.e. Rumble, but you know, not too bad. But really hyped to see this Vi just pop off here. Our board also has gotten a good bit stronger. We're still pretty broke though, because we did that kind of delayed roll down. 3 Vi's out there. I didn't see any other, I mean, I'm sure there are other Vi's out that I missed, but I didn't see any glaring Vi's just on people's boards. So maybe there was some on bench or something. Obviously 2x speed scouting is a little bit hard. But yeah, okay, we pick up another rod here, which is, you know, it makes sense that we would find more rods when we're playing this this setup here. Also, yeah, I'm gonna continue to roll down. What is that? Rumble 2, yeah, I'm with Jazlatte's chat here. What is that? 777 is what I'm saying. He gets the Radiant Adaptive, which can go onto frontline. Does end up finally getting to that Radiant Static Shiv that we've been talking about all game, and also it's gonna go onto a backline Elise here. This is really sweet. So, you know, Elise is on this board for Form Swapper and Bruiser, but I mean, why can't she be a backline carry? She can use this really well. Bo's getting taken here as well. What is Bo for? We've got the sword open onto Rumble. I mean, maybe he's just gonna scrap this sword forever, and then this is going to be an item on somebody else. I don't know. I would have assumed that we would have just made like a real item onto Rumble, like BT, just because we're kind of afraid of you know, rolling some absolute trash like Radiant IE. But no, it looks like he wants to play for kind of the max cap of. But I mean, we're not going 9 anytime soon. Oh, we roll a Radiant Deathblade, like. It looks, I'm so shocked that we're not actually slamming out here, but okay. We have the TF going off here. We have this Vi still. We had the Ambessa, but we need to sneeze. Bless me. We need to sneeze there, which look at my muting mic tech, by the way. I muted that mic so fast, and it's my birthday. If you don't like the video, guys, like, what are you doing? And you know, if you guys don't subscribe to my Medify group, what are you doing? Okay, we rolled we made a Radiant Gunblade here, right? I think he made that while I was sneezing. So he did finally give up and say, you know what? I'm going to make the Radiant Gunblade. He still has scrap later if he wants it. You know, he can move item off of GP if maybe we level for like a tank or something, or even move the Gunblade off and then scrap the bow. But I think this makes perfect sense when we're so far from leveling, right? And now we start to get to kind of like the weird conundrum of this this augment where, you know, 2 items sometimes better than a Radiant item, 3 items obviously better than a Radiant item. So what do you do with this QSS? Do you slam this on somebody? Do you hold on to it? It's funny that it actually looks Radiant on our bench here. But yeah, I'm curious to see what he does here. I mean, you could even you know, decide to scrap something and put Bo there. I don't know exactly. We'll see. Also, I mean, finally, our board is all the way upgraded here, which is really, really nice for us. But we're still level 8-0 gold. And the other thing that I think was so cool about this game is that, like, this is a game where it took Jazlatte a lot of gold to hit here. At this point, we are 0 gold, level 8, and it's the end of stage 5. But he played such a strong tempo game, such a just good early game of TFT, and also a really, really cool comp that he's fine with this setup. Like, he's stuck on 8, but we can actually top 4 the lobby as we almost have, guaranteed at this spot with this setup. We are fighting this guy who is flexible into, it's either flexible or hard commit. I feel like their icons look exactly the same, but I think it's flexible because he has the sniper +1 and wait a minute, he has sniper +1 and experiment +1. Can we do a high roll check real quick and look at this? And dominator +1? And artillerist +1? What is this? Did he... Experiment, artillerist, dominator, sniper. Is this legal? I think every single thing that he got from this was like BIS here, and then he has the rocket collector as well. Like, what? That is the most disgusting setup of all time, I'll say. I mean, Jazlatte being in the same lobby with him, I think he's just got to say, okay, we're just happy that we're top 4, and maybe we can farm a top 3 or something. Maybe in a crazy spot at top 2, but we'll see. 27 HP. We are in top 2 now. Stop the count. Give us the Kane encounter here. We're also keeping the idea of Caitlyn, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what, like, if he finds, I'd love for him to just find a Caitlyn here on 8 and see what he wants to do, like how he wants to get that in. Going to take the rage blade here, and so that's something that I wanted to touch on here, and I think it makes a decent amount of sense for Jazlatte in the spot to just say, okay, when I get to 3 items, I'm going to triple itemize my carry, but it looks like he actually does rate Radiant item over 2 items, especially when it's something like a QSS, which is like kind of underwhelming. Like, you could throw it onto Vi, but then, you're losing your Radiant item. I think it makes a lot of sense. We are going to lose to Summertimer here. Hopefully this other players can go down. Riri is going to go down. So now it's between us and Summertimer. We just have to pray that we fight a really weak clone here. There's the Caitlyn. Okay, he still needs another unit to fit. He needs like Maddie, right? If he wants to play. Oh, he gets Jason here. Wow. Okay, so Jace. Oh, that was a really, really quick swap, but the idea was Caitlyn Jace in, right, over these two. You're cutting out Bruiser when you cut this. We can get in a better unit. I mean, both of them are better units. Really, really nice swap. We obviously don't have the sniper in for the Caitlyn, but yeah, just 2 5 costs on this board look a lot better. We can move adaptive up here. Radiant static shiv Caitlyn is pretty depressing because her attack speed is so slow, but I mean, she'll still proc it eventually. Auto. Yeah, we get there. Yeah, not the best procking, but decent. We do obviously fight this insane board who has an automata +1. We are going to lose. We just have to hope Summertimer loses by more. Wow, Summertimer took a great loss there. Still minus. That must be delayed damage, right? Oh, he has Melon. I was like, there's no way he only took 8 damage. Oh, he has Melon. This guy got bailed out by Mel. Without Mel, maybe. Or had we high rolled a Mel, maybe we could have been top 2. But still, I think just a really, really fantastic game from Jazlatte, just showing how, like, playing good, solid flex TFT, especially around this, like, cool line that, I don't think everybody's playing for. And just playing the best line for this comp, using that really, really weird trifecta setup without rerolling. I don't know. I thought this was a fantastic game. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check my Twitch, my Metafy, all my other links down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.